What up, everybody? I am your host, JP, and this is my co-host, Josh.
Hey, everyone.
And this is another episode of the FilmBros podcast. You like how dramatic I did that?
I did, but does it really matter? You've spaced it out, and I'm going to have to cut that.
Fuck. But the dramatic pauses, like if he didn't cut that out,
I mean,
can you at least leave one dramatic pause?
I can leave it, but in my mind while you were doing it, I was like, he's giving me a lot of airtime between these words.
As the editor mindset kicks in and it's just all downhill from there. But regardless of that, obviously you're happy to edit it all out. We're happy to provide this content for you guys. If you guys are new to this podcast, hey, welcome. There's always new episodes for you guys to check out. Mm-hmm. Always come back to listen to. If there's anything you guys want us to talk about, any topics that you guys want us to hit, any movies you guys want us to review, if you guys want to support us in a big way, Josh, let them know before we get
full government. No.
Sorry, let them know before we jump into these topics.
Listen, anywhere you get your podcast, that's Spotify, that's Apple Podcasts, anywhere. All our episodes are up there. Go ahead and check them out. I do know that episode 0 and 10 are very first few episodes aren't there. Those are on YouTube. That's at FilmBros Podcast. So go listen there, subscribe, whatnot, see how far we've come, and then follow our socials for any updates on episodes. Because we post when new ones are out. Engage with us about any news or movies you want us to cover and all that stuff.
Yes. And this isn't the FilmBros Podcast without us talking about a little bit of DC in every episode. A little bit of DC, a little bit of James Gunn, a little bit of everything. Because you know what? People just love to find shit, and people just love to talk about this shit. Why? Because it is obviously clicks. Like at this point, news. WB and DC is just pure clicks at this point. Yeah. They can title it whatever they want. This nifty little article that I picked up from the Hollywood Reporter basically asked the question, where have all the DC fans gone?
Yeah.
I don't know, Josh. Where do you think they've all gone? Do you think they jumped to the MCU?
Oh fuck! If they jump to the MCU, dear God, pray for them. I don't know. I think it's a lot of being mistreated or whatever by the people that are making the movies. Basically, I guess a lot of fans are tired of not being heard and all that. Like I know a lot of movies people are gonna be very fans of. Like I'm sure there's 5 fans of the Wonder Twins, and we're really looking forward to that movie or whatever. Yeah. But like we don't want a Wonder Twins movie. We don't want things.
Whenever
like that.
That shit was like, and they were wanting the cast of Riverdale to do it too. Like a couple
it was
of
them.
people.
It was them,
what
and then
fuck?
Batgirl was coming out. That Nightwing movie was just recently confirmed canceled, even though it was canceled like 5 years ago, whatever the fuck, before it even developed.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these movies that we do want.
Constantine 2.
Yeah, where the fuck is that? Actually,
it's not gonna happen. That shit's not gonna happen anymore.
There's a strike.
We gotta give
it time. We gotta give it time.
No, that's
no. Manifest. I want that.
Yeah, okay.
I want that
manifestation.
Yeah, we call it. But it's a lot of just that. Like I don't know who's sticking around, who's watching these movies or whatnot. But it's not enough, obviously. And it could be because fans checked out. People say that again, that the Snyder fans can apparently control the box office. And I'm like, well, if that's your majority audience, you should be appealing to them. Because general audiences are going to see things like Blue Beetle. But what will help you bring in the real dough is if you appeal to those fans, I think. Or like fans in general, get the consensus.
Well, yeah. The thing is that having a unified audience, too. That's obviously the big thing, right? Like,
yeah. If
you want people to come watch your movies, and the Hollywood Reporter puts it in a nice way as well, where you go to watch a DC movie now and you don't even know if the person next to you is interested in this movie like you are.
Yeah.
So people who are going to watch Blue Beetle because they genuinely love the character is sitting next to somebody who's hate fucking this movie, whatever, ready to shred it up, Snyder, whatever. Yeah. You have the real DC fans, general audiences, whatever. That's the thing, is that there's so much division, and this article breaks it down. So if you guys want to check it out, it's on the Hollywood Reporter page. I wanted to go to the very bottom. Basically, they go through everything, and basically we all know that the if you guys heard our older episodes, we broke it down multiple times. The DCU is a complete mess from the jump. They wanted a 5-movie arc from Zack Snyder that birthed into, for a movie that wasn't profitable with Man of Steel, birthed into a whole cinematic universe. Wound up getting BVS, Wonder Woman, then they wound up botching Suicide Squad, and that turned into a snowball, a slew of things, that change of ownership, actors not wanting to come back, getting paid, Headless Superman. Oh God, the Headless Superman, so many of them.
Oh my God.
The butchering of DC heroes, the legal battles of DC heroes, racism, accusations, blah, 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 blah. Everything is detailed in this article, so go check it out. It's on the Hollywood Reporter page. But one thing that they basically say is that basically James Gunn coming in and having or David Zaslav basically putting it on James Gunn and having James Gunn have this one vision to try to change it all again, because we've seen it happen again, right?
Yeah.
Time and time again, we had Zack Snyder and Walter Hamada. And then it was Walter Hamada and Jeff Johns. And then Johns got into some trouble. And then it got to who was next? Pam DeLuca and Walter Hamada and the other guy, whatever his name was. I forgot his name. And then it snowballed to The Rock somehow. Him holding the ball for a second and running with it. And then after that, Zaslav said, bonk, nope, give it to James Gunn. And now here's James Gunn. We know that this DC universe has been hot potato for a while. Just basically this hot potato jumping from hand to hand. Some people walk away from it and do fine. Some people don't have careers after that. Josh Whedon, where has he gone after all those accusations?
Who really cares?
Well, rightfully so. I'm not saying. I'm obviously just highlighting the fact that everybody who's at least come in contact has felt some kind of pain from that kind of harshness to the little bit where is Ben Affleck.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I would too if I was treated as badly as they were. Not just Zach, but like everyone else, actors, things like that. Like, how do you treat those people that make you movies like that? You know what I mean? The guy, Joss Whedon, I guess, is the biggest offender. He's all over that shit. The fucking Justice League was a mess. His Justice League was a mess. From scenes of cutting out Ray Fisher, WB hiding his racism allegations.
That booyah.
Yeah. Way to just nitpick one scene. What do you call it? The scene with Gal Gadot and Ezra Miller. You know, that whole scene where he lands on her. Another
bad scene? The one where Aquaman sits on the lasso of truth and just completely...
He's like, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of young.
Yeah.
I've never been with a Amazonian. That war was forever ago, and you look, ooh.
He knows it word for word.
Well, that's what he says.
Stand?
That's what he says. I remember bad things. That's just kind of how it goes.
Very good.
But it's what not to do type shit. Yeah, I can remember that. And again, that was a whole scene dedicated to hitting on Wonder Woman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all distasteful. And he's the biggest offender when it comes to that. And then Walter Hamada doing Henry Cavill that way, the way he did, pushing him out. And a lot of the stuff behind the scenes would really turn people away. I'm surprised it hasn't turned Gal Gadot away. Maybe it's because she knows that WW chick is fat. Well, we don't know what's going on with Ezra Miller, but basically the whole crew is coming out besides James Gunn's friends.
Yeah, I mean, what are they really gonna say? They weren't a part of that mess.
No, well, that's what I mean.
They're being taken care. They're being taken care of by James Gunn.
Yeah, that wasn't a stab. That was just knowledge, common knowledge. Joaquin Phoenix, I guess he's doing fine.
Well, I mean, that's completely separate from whatever.
Yeah, it was DC.
On. Yeah, but that's how they're basically gonna move forward with their own universe kind of stuff, is that they're gonna also have those Elseworlds. So I mean, in a way, it kind of fit, but I feel like those movies were kind of in development to the point where they couldn't be stopped, and they saw that the first one did very good, and if they can get copy and paste with basically the same director and the same head lead that made it good in the first place, I'm pretty sure they were like, we're gonna make money off of it, so we'll go ahead and do it. But when does that Joker 2 come out? Next year?
I thought it was supposed to drop this year.
this year. There's no promotion for it.
And then no, I guess next year maybe. Because I could have sworn they wrapped filming up like the end of last year. Am I tripping?
Yeah, 2024. It comes out 2024, October 4th, 2024.
Damn, that's forever ago, or forever from now. Feels like they finished wrapping like a couple months ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that movie needs a lot of VFX either.
Depends on what they're doing.
I don't know. But yeah, so that's supposed to come out 2024.
But yeah, DC fans are kind of hiding away right now.
Yeah. And like I said, nobody's left unscathed. James Wan, if he would have walked away from the first, like with the first Aquaman movie, he would have been known as making the first $1 billion DC movie.
Yep.
One of the better DC movies, and would have been fine. But now he's going to walk away hurt as well. He dipped his toe in and found success. Now he, took a full dive into it, and now it's like, fuck, dude, I stayed in for he stayed in too long, and he started getting those pruny fingers. Yeah.
No one wants those.
No.
But, man, it does suck for James Wan. I do feel bad. I feel bad for all the directors who were kind of done dirty. It's so weird that that's how they decided to treat him. And then, well, people thought Walter Amado was bad. Look who's in the chair now.
Oh, okay, all right. That's yet to be seen.
But okay.
That's yet to be seen. But I mean,
for real,
going down this list, seeing, I read this thing a couple days ago because it dropped on the 25th, which was like the 10-year anniversary of Ben Affleck getting the Batman cowl.
Mm-hmm.
And they're right when it comes down to a certain point when they say that just changing the head, but keeping that same direction, jumping at every turn, not committing to a certain vision is a problem. Divisiveness aside, we're already divided, and I feel like the studios did that. You can't even blame the creatives. I mean, people blame Zack Snyder for ruining the DC brand, and I'm like, that's a little too harsh. They wanted a certain vision, they okayed that vision, and when it wasn't working anymore, they completely pivoted so hard your fucking neck snapped, and y'all don't know what to do anymore. That's not the way to go when it comes to like making a universe. They saw how Marvel did it, which is crazy. They saw how Marvel did it, where they took the elements that didn't work from Thor: The Dark World and everything, they trashed that, and then they moved on forward with better things, depending on what you guys think of Ragnarok, Josh, and then whatever everybody else thinks of the other sequels and triple trilogy, whatever. He's giving me a look, and he just
this isn't about Ragnarok.
I know. I just when I can do a slight drive-by once in a while, that's okay with me.
No.
Hit you with a straight bullet.
No, because now I'm bleeding, and now I feel like I gotta let you know that I'm bleeding.
No, just hold the wound.
But what do you call it? Yeah, a lot of that stuff is really coming to light, and like, again, for those like,
I don't know what
for those that don't remember or are barely listening, like, there was a time where Man of Steel, again, Superman Returns, just to paint the picture again, came out 06?
Superman Returns came out 06.
Came out 06. They people were like, this is too campy. This isn't what we want. Whatever, right? Because by then Batman had been taking a turn. What do you call it? No, I was gonna say Arkham Asylum came out. That didn't come out till like 08. But like, Batman was painting the picture to be darker, whatever, not just the Adam West adaptation. Thanks to Nolan's Batman. Thank you, Nolan Batman, for setting us on this path. But they kind of were like, hey, they people like the darker stuff, so let's give them a bit darker. Again, The Dark Knight comes out, Dark Knight Returns, Man of Steel. What do you call it? That wasn't supposed to be a whole universe, but they were like, hey, this movie may kind of profit. Let's make a whole universe. Zach, you got it covered. Like, let's do it. And then they were like, you did great with Man of Steel, but now we need you to kind of fast track it and get the whole Justice League together, because by then the Avengers have had their second team up film. Mm-hmm. So they go on, whatever. BVS blows it out the water. It is not a flop that people make it out to be. They kill it at the box office. But those 30 minutes made people confused. Blah 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 blah. That's history. And then the heads, Walter Hamada, were just like, this is not a billion. We're seeing what Marvel was doing. We want $1 billion. They were gonna get there, but that's besides the point. They cut him at the legs, is what I'm trying to get at. And
here's my thing is that I don't know if you've heard the rumors and everything like that, or multiple sources have came out and said it. They don't come out and outright say what's going on. When that actually makes news and shit like that, we are going to be the first one to cover it. But apparently that whole $1 billion thing wasn't even the problem. It was Jeff Johns, Walter Hamada, and Zack Snyder all going at it at one time. Him and Jeff Johns do not get along. It was some beef situation, and Hamada took Johns' side, and Ray Fisher took Snyder's side. And because, in my opinion, Ray Fisher, though I love the dude, and the robotic nuts that he has to come out and just go ahead and do what he needed to do and air that shit out, it's great. But if you notice, it kind of, and I feel like that's why they have such a good friendship. I think Zach kind of told him behind closed doors, like, hey, I'm not gonna deal with that, because they just refuse to air it out right now. I think it's just such a big beef that they were just like, it's unprofessional to speak about it or speak on it as of right now, and we're just gonna let it go type thing. I think that's why they gave him that IMAX deal too.
The IMAX deal,
because to be able to do the Snyder trilogy and be able to show it at a Universal walk.
I understand.
So there's a big beef behind that. It wasn't. The official answer is that $1 billion thing, but I'll let you guys know right now, it's not that. We'll figure it out one day. They'll let it out. Somebody will release it. Somebody will speak about it, and we'll talk to you guys about it.
It's kind of interesting because around that time, New 52 was still in the comics where New 52 were making rounds, and that's where people were like, well, we don't want this. You know what I mean? Just to give context behind what was going on between Jeff Johns and Zach, they were twisting the origin stories in that era to be a little darker, nothing too crazy, nothing we haven't seen before. But hey, they were mixing it up, and then people were like, "Well, we don't really like New 52." So Jeff Johns was probably like, "Hey, your movies suck because you're following my material," type shit, right? And Zach was probably like, "No, that's not it. There's thousands of comics before New 52."
Wait, Zach was like, my movie sucked because
no,
we're following
Jeff Johns was like, hey, your movies suck because they're following the formula
and not my comics.
Well, his comics were the formula technically.
Why would Jeff Johns shit on his own comic books?
By then, people weren't receiving New 52 well.
I would maybe think that Jeff Johns was mad because Zack Snyder wasn't following that New 52 route that Jeff Johns wanted, because I think that Jeff Johns liked his creation, and even though it was kind of split in the middle, plus on top of that, those allegations that were happening with him didn't help any of that too.
It's interesting because also Tom King, he's James Gunn's comic advisor right now. He did Rebirth. He's behind all that shit, and like this is nothing we haven't seen before. Bringing in comic people that wrote the comics to help write the movies and stuff, like that's not new. It's just, I hope history doesn't repeat itself. Maybe a little bit better and more executed, but God. This is starting to sound like the same picture. Am I tripping?
I mean, yes, but I personally believe that fans are like far too gone from DC, at least, only because we haven't seen this kind of level of pettiness at all from any of the fan bases. We've had Star Wars fans that will shit on it. They'll go and watch the movie. They'll go and watch the shit, but they will not like it. Like Star Wars, say what you want about the sequel trilogy, that shit still made $1 billion. It's good. That people enjoyed it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Marvel too. Yeah, they have their fans or whatever, but they're not like, they're still watching, which is weird. It's crazy, right? They're still watching. DC fans are refusing to watch, and on top of that, they're going as far back as to look up old tweets that he used to have about certain, talking about certain movies. Now, if you guys want to go check out that article one more time, The Hollywood Reporter, go check that out.
Thank you, Hollywood Reporter.
So, James Gunn is being doxxed, basically. And people are out here scrubbing his history. And one of those histories is a few comments that he made on Facebook regarding certain movies in the Dark Knight trilogy and Keaton's Batman. I don't know if you were hearing about this.
No.
You haven't heard about any
Well,
of this?
I've heard I didn't read these things. I heard, and then people were like, "Oh, it's fake," and then other people were like, "No, it's real. This is real.
It's real. I did my due diligence. It's real. I looked it up. I've checked multiple places. It's there. It's still there.
Yeah.
And a few other very questionable Facebook posts.
Eesh.
I'm gonna wait until other people find it. Then we'll talk about those. I don't want to be the one to bring it up. So we'll go ahead and we'll talk about what's at hand right now. They're pretty bad. Anyways,
yeah, okay.
Moving on. James Gunn decided to give his opinion not only on Keatons but the Dark Knight portrayal. Some context, they were going back and forth. This was around the time I believe the Dark Knight Rises released, or it was like a few years after the Dark Knight Rises released, and that's when he decided to shoot shots freely. I'm assuming this was around the era that he was on Marvel's side. So I'm thinking that, he was hearing that rumblings were happening. So I think that he was talking out of pocket for Marvel needs. Mm-hmm. So, he can be on that side. Because at the time it was what? Marvel, DC, whatever, which one's better?
Yeah.
What a glorious time.
Mm-hmm.
When DC actually had a chance. But this is what James Gunn had to say. This is the first post that he put. He said, Keaton did have a ridiculous voice. That said, I'd rather put up with a ridiculous voice than with horrible action sequences and acting barely worthy of the Batman TV show. B, I have no idea how you can think that the Burton Batman has more similarities with Moore or Miller's Batman and Joker than Nolan does. And listen, I have problems with both of Nolan's films. I don't think either one is classic, and I don't even really think Batman Begins is good, but they're far superior to the first Batman. None of your defenses get by the fact that despite being the first cinematic dark take on Batman, so what? Stallone's Judge Dredd was the first dark take on Judge Dredd. The movie is awful. You want to comment on that one before I read the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh? How the fuck, bro? There is no way. Those the action sequences in the Batman Begins have been outdated. Like I will say that movie's been dated, but the writing in that movie is still solid. I think that bitch still holds up. Ra's al Ghul, what do you call it? Batman. Like I believe that the story itself and the writing of each character holds up well. People quote it to all the fucking time. Why do we fall? So we can get back up. That shit is.
That's the first time I've ever heard you quote it, but okay, keep going.
Shut up. No, I gotta have the script right here. What we call it? Yeah, like I believe that movie has aged action wise and whatnot poorly, but that movie still holds the tale.
It's a classic.
Yeah,
it's a
there's
classic.
no way
you can't say it's not a classic.
There's no way you say that. And shit, I don't like Keaton's Batman, so I will choose Batman Begins over that motherfucker any day. Keep going.
You're not gonna talk about Keaton's performance?
What?
You're not gonna talk about the first part where Keaton's
voice. I mean, Keaton's voice is ass. I'm not gonna.
Oh, so he's valid.
Well, yeah, but rare James W.
Oh,
well, I mean, I don't know. That movie has aged poorly. I'm not a fan of Keaton. Like, The Flash has made that very apparent. Even when we watched '89 and Batman Returns, I will say he did better in Returns.
Mm-hmm.
But not good, not Christian Bale level good. Like, I think in that one he did a little better. But yeah, to say that he's better, whatever. Same with Jack Nicholson. He did a great Joker. I'm not taking that away.
But Heath Ledger was better.
He's still not better than Heath Ledger, no.
Yeah. All right. Makes sense. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. And, like I said, we got to give where credit's due, and then we got to take away where it needs to be taken away. And Batman Begins is a major L for James Gunn on multiple reasons. It's a great movie. Yeah. And to what I believe started the greatest trend, and that was showing some realism within our superhero movies.
Yes.
Where, we were getting a bunch of jump flips and crazy shit.
Yeah.
He put us back on the ground and said, look, this is what Batman would look like in life.
Yeah, they even went down to the detail of, like, showing you what a smoke bomb is made from type shit.
Yeah.
Like come on. That's as cool as it gets.
Solid. The next Facebook post he said, "Oh yeah, and Jack Nicholson as the Joker is Jack Nicholson in The Shining with shitty clown makeup. Fuck you, everyone involved with that travesty." He was talking about Burton's movie.
Oh my god! Again, he did a great Joker for that movie. One of the reasons why I can go back and rewatch it is because of him. Jack Nicholson deserves to have more respect than what that gave him.
I mean, I think he has a point. I wouldn't say the shitty clown makeup. I would say he did have a performance that was kind of similar to The Shining. I think that's where he kind of drew his inspiration for Crazy. But that's just me too. But I don't think the shitty clown makeup. I don't think that one's valid. But I think maybe the Shining thing.
No, I don't think so. I think he did really good as a Joker, and that kind of downplays him, even by my standards, because I think every actor that's done the Joker has done him justice. You know, there's thousands of comics out there. One of them has hit the nail at one point.
Yeah. And then on his last post, he says, "The Tim Burton Batman is poorly written. The soundtrack is even worse work for everyone involved. And it is absolutely one of the most boring films ever. Not only that, but the reveal of the Joker as the killer of Bruce Wayne's parents spits in the face of Batman's origin and is a nullification of the bottomless thirst for vengeance that necessarily drives Batman. It pretends not to be campy, but is completely so. And on top of everything, the dark creature of the night can't even move his fucking neck. Give me a fucking break. It's ridiculous, awful film. Burton's Planet of the Apes is genius in comparison."
All these things make me laugh.
I feel like you're siding with this one.
Okay. Keaton's performance aside, I do think it had nice writing moments. It is very campy. It has aged poorly. I will say that it does come out very like if you watch it now, you'd pretty much be like, this feels like a darker take on Adam West Batman.
It's basically, yeah. It was very fun, I guess, because there was a lot of, even the fight scenes were kind of just like, you kind of wanted to chalk it up to it being like an older movie, but then you also had movies that, you know, hand-to-hand combat was going fucking crazy, you know? So
and
they
around that
better.
time, yeah, you had like Terminator, things like that.
Yeah.
So like
movie magic could have
it
been
wasn't out of the question to make it better, but by that time to paint the picture, because we know Nolan's Batman is the first dark take. This would be the first dark take, I guess, on Batman because Adam West was goofy and whatnot, and again, it's the 80s or whatever. This is technically their first take on what the Dark Knight would be.
Yeah.
So they did their best while also trying to keep it light and fun. I can keep that there.
Have a little credit there. Okay.
Yeah, but there's that's so insane because I did like the way Gotham looked. The music was nice.
What did you think of the reveal of Joker being the person who killed his parents?
In most contexts, knowing what I know now, it's not. It does seem in hindsight it's terrible, but it's an interesting little twist to give. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, like Joe Chill being the real murderer obviously does drive Batman. Whatever. There's been countless times where he's met him and he decides to be like, no, I can't kill you because then I do what I gotta do and that ruins it, whatnot. Mm-hmm. But this one was setting up the Joker to be like his actual rival and whatnot, that they are the same no matter what. And I feel it is very kind of poetic to be like, hey, not only did you make me, but you didn't even know it, but I made you. You know what I mean? So like I can see the lines they were trying to draw, but overall it is kind of So yeah. I guess it's not too bad for the movie.
If it was a one and done movie, it would have made sense.
Yeah.
But I think them continuing it kind of made it bad.
Yeah.
But that has to be chalked up to sequelitis from Hollywood, mm-hmm. right? So is this a W? What do you think? I mean, I know how you feel about Batman, the first Batman.
89.
Yeah.
Batman 89.
Yeah. So I know how you feel about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if some of these are for you. I mean,
it's a little extreme.
I would say the soundtrack is kind of classic for me, though.
Yeah, that's why. Like his OG theme is classic. I don't know. I think this might be an L. This is a little too aggressive. I feel like he was really nitpicking at things for most of it.
The dark creature of the night can't even move his fucking neck. That was my thing too.
Well, yeah.
Did you hear in The Flash, Keaton said, I guess they made him a suit that he can move his neck, and Keaton was like, no, I don't want to be able to move my neck. That's not Batman.
That's not Batman. I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do with that information.
I mean, did you know about
dumb.
that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh.
I didn't know that. I think that's very dumb. I really think that they should, at some point, he should have made the modernization of it or something.
Moving
like
his neck and shit.
Yeah, it might have maybe.
You were Batman for how many years?
Yeah, you telling me every time you fought up until you were fucking 70, you were just like, oh. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make much sense. But yeah, I think he's a little harsh right here, and I know I can be kind of harsh and nitpicky in times, but I felt like he was really trying to find things that weren't there. It'd be like, oh, this is bullshit, you know.
A couple things for sure. There's a couple things I can say he's kind of on the money on. I mean, like I said, the whole Jack Nicholson, him turning. When I was a kid, I didn't think anything of it either. But growing up now is kind of like, well, you know, you kind of written yourself in the corner there. If it was a one and done movie, it would have been perfect. It probably would have gone down as one of the classics, but I think having it get a sequel was the issue.
Well, because we run into something similar in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. What do you call it? He doesn't do it, but he indirectly causes it because the city is in a riot. So, a riot he started caused Bruce's parents to die. Like, indirectly, I guess.
Was that confirmed? Does that happen?
Oh, well, it's in the movie.
His parents die in the movie?
Yeah, you remember that? Walk down the alley, and then I think they get shot.
I've seen that movie one time.
Well, yeah, and then, you know, I guess the question is still up if it was real or not, whatever, in his head and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
But like, that's the way they made it play out, and I'm like, well, that's kind of indirectly killing them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Joker didn't point the gun, but
he set the riot that killed him.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man, but this is what I mean. This is where, like, that division gets to. I mean, I've been seeing all up and down Twitter. They were like, oh, this, like, My Time to Shine, hello. Shout out to them again. Their caption was, no wonder James Gunn loved The Flash so much, because Keaton dies twice.
Damn.
And,
Damn.
I've been seeing a lot of people say that the fact that he was the one that put in Keaton dying 2 times, like him dying by plane the first time and whatever. So apparently there's rumors going around, and apparently I don't know if they're made up rumors, I don't know if they're credible rumors. There's jokes going around, and the problem is that that's what's causing division, because you can't even know where half this stuff is coming from. And you know James Gunn is on the interwebs. You know he's on there, so you know he's seeing this shit too. Mm-hmm. And so him not talking about it, him not saying anything about it, just it does exactly what he didn't want, because he was already tweeting for so long, is that if he doesn't respond, it's a problem. Yes. If he does respond, everything's fine and dandy. And he's still been doing that. He's been responding here and there to all kinds of people. It's just not as heavy as he was before.
Yeah. People pulled this up. God, I wonder what he has conversations with his, like, friends and family and stuff. And they're just like, you didn't like Batman 89? No.
What the fuck's your problem, guy?
Yeah, what the fuck, bro?
I don't know, bro. James Gunn, to me, he digs himself in a hole every single time. And I guess this is where I have to ask the question, is this being petty? This was an 11-year-old tweet. 12-year-old tweet. Is this petty? Is this digging too deep? Are we reaching? Should we just let the man cook? Because a lot of people are like, well, he doesn't like the dark and gritty tones. What are we gonna get when, you know, his DCU sets off?
I do think this is petty. I don't agree with bringing up old things like that. Like, I feel when people get famous or whatever, or they have their big break, people will always look for a reason to be like, oh, they don't deserve it because they said this, and that when they were 10 years old. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think Blue Beetle came out on its premiere weekend, and then people found a clip of the main actor saying the N-word, and I didn't see it. I didn't see any clip like that. I thought it would have been posted somewhere, but no, it was just a lot of, hey, he did it. He shouldn't be famous. This and that. And I'm like, well, how long ago did he say it? And whatnot? Because I mean, if that video didn't surface when he said it, why should it matter now when he's already had his status? You know?
Well, that's the thing. That's one of my things too. Is when people, obviously, you should conduct yourself in public, which the internet is public, as, you know, you would if you were to go to the mall or something. You know, don't say shit you're not supposed to, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But on the internet, it's free reign for everybody. At the time, he wasn't as big as he is now. I mean, 11 years is a long time ago. I think that's when he was not even on the front seat of Marvel. He was like literally gearing up to be that person. And I mean, yeah, this happens where people bring up stuff, but it's like at that point, you can't really be mad at a tweet that he didn't think was gonna be blown up to this extent. And if this is what he thinks of a movie, I mean, that's fine. I don't have an issue with the way he thinks of a movie, but the thing is that he praises certain movies, and you should love all the movies at least in the roster that you're gonna be, or talking good about them, at least if you're gonna be in the front seat one day. You know, I that's the thing, is that I wouldn't have bit the hand that fed me before. I'm gonna say what I need to say. People take offense to it, that's fine, but I'm not going to push the envelope and be like, oh, well, this shit was, I mean, with The Flash, I guess I don't care. Andy Muschietti can fucking shoot me, bro. I don't care. That's fine. I don't give him Raven the Bold either. Don't give him that. we're allowed to say our opinions. He's able to say his opinion, but at the end of the day, he's at a different standard, and I'd say that.
Well, yeah. But again, I don't agree with pulling up things from the past, because then that's how people lose jobs and stuff. It's just like, why? I mean, I tweeted that when I didn't have anything. Like, why should that matter now? Like, I totally be just be like, oh, sorry, I was a dumb kid and saying what I said or whatever. But like,
so you think he should address these?
No, I don't think so. It's not that big of a deal.
You don't think so?
I'm sure he will at some point,
because people are coming out defending him like, oh, they don't think Batman Begins is good. Like, he's not gonna give us a dark and gritty Batman.
Like, oh yeah, I'm sure his fans are really like dick right in this, and it's just like, yeah, he's right. Like, thank God he said it, because now I can say it type of shit. And then he jumping on the hype train. I don't believe that shit one bit. There's no way.
Very good.
And it's crazy. I'm not done.
Okay, all right.
The Nolan Trilogy has gotten a lot of shit over, Bane isn't Mexican. Ra's al Ghul is white. This isn't that. Talia al Ghul is white. At the time, ain't no one care about that. I will say that forever. Ain't no one care about comic accurate shit up until recently. Like, people just wanted a good Batman movie, and that's what we got 3 times over, depending on how you feel about the last one.
It was still a great Batman movie. I don't give a fuck.
Like, yeah, and it ended perfectly, and whatever. And
in the way that Nolan wanted it to end.
Exactly. Not studio interfered. What do you call it? It's just, people want to come out and say all that now because it makes them different or whatever the fuck else. And I don't believe that shit. I don't believe for one bit that Bane not being Mexican in there changes the movie at all. Would I have loved to see?
The fuck you guys want him in a sombrero eating burritos?
Would I have loved to see him with the Venom and stuff? Yeah, because that's always nice. But I'm not taking away from Tom Hardy's performance as Bane. Like, that shit was sick.
Yeah, I like Roid Rage. That's more real.
That's more grounded. Yeah. We want him eating chalk.
Yeah, bro. Like, come on, man. He should have, he was like, I'm gonna protect this girl. And then, when he just, was juiced up to the max, he broke Batman's back, juiced up. Damn, bro. Like, he's a maniac.
People are all of a sudden switching up, changing tunes and whatnot, and I just think it's to be different. That's my hot take of the day.
I dare anybody to tell me that their jaw did not drop when he fucking smacked Bale's helmet and ripped that shit right off his head. Nobody's gonna tell me their jaw did not drop.
Exactly. Cecilia Murphy, as Crane, still holds up perfectly. He still does a very good job.
And the fact that he came back for all 3 of the movies in a sequel or a cameo capacity, nice touch.
Exactly. And we should get more things like that. Like how you said, there should always be like a simple bad guy in the beginning, always being caught or whatever. Like Spider-Man should be constantly fighting Shock or whatever the fuck else.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone small, and that was who Batman was after the whole time.
Yeah.
Imagine that shit. You're just like, damn, again?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's fun for the viewers because they can be like, what the fuck? Like, it could honestly be used as a little gag in the beginning, just so it can be, get the audience warmed up, and then you can hit them with some nice, feed them the manja.
Exactly.
Feed them the shit.
I don't know. Those movies have not aged poorly. I think James Gunn is really smoking on those. But what else is new?
Yeah, well, your new head of DC. Does this give you a little bit more faith, or does this give you less faith, or does it not move you a little bit?
No. This does not. This is negative points in the opposite direction. Because holy fuck, there's no way you decide to be like, hey, I'm gonna make DC movies and then shit on the DC movies that came before. There is no way. you gotta be respectful, and you gotta do what you gotta do with your story, and either pay homage or pay respects. Like, hey, this was great. It's not what I'm doing. I'm moving forward, or whatever. Like, there's no way.
You know what would make a lot of things go away? I'm pretty sure if he came out and was like, I enjoyed Man of Steel and BVS and all that, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would come out and be all right with him. Maybe. If he was genuine about it too, I think it would have to be just a random tweet that says that at this point would kind of sound thirsty. I think it would have to be at a good moment, and he would have to
conference or something.
Yeah, it would have to be like worth it. But I don't know. To me, it doesn't move me any. Like I said, I personally don't like to see people get doxxed. I think pulling up their history from 11 years ago is bad. Makes for good conversation. I think this is hilarious. But
we hope you guys do too.
Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, he has a right to his opinion. If he didn't like those movies, I mean, not everybody got to love those movies. But my only thing is that I'm hoping that he understands that there is a large majority, of people that enjoy these movies, that enjoy that direction, and you're not gonna completely just smother every single property with, comedy or dumb jokes or shit like that,
But that's what I mean. Like, you don't get to do these things and then talk shit about the people that came before or whatever, the movies that came before. Because at some point, someone's going to do that shit to him. when it's all said and done, whether his DCU flops or succeeds or whatever, someone's going to be like, hey, I really fucking hated Brave and the Bold. Yeah. Or I really fucking hated Superman Legacy. Mm-hmm. It didn't do anything right. You know which one I do love? Yada, yada, yada. But he's going to be like, oh, Superman Legacy was campy, whatever. And he's not going to respond, obviously, or depending on how he feels. But, like...
You think he'll do what everybody else has been doing and course correct?
Yeah. Like, it's just...
But, like, in a way that Marvel did it or in a way that the old regime did it? Do you think that we're getting a copy at Full Circle Moment? Do you think that we're going to get a copy and paste of what the Hollywood Reporter was saying? Like, same shit, different company.
I'm hoping his dumbass, working at Marvel and stuff, gave him that tip to, like, working with Feige and all them, like, gave him the tip to be like, no matter what happens, we got to move forward, unless it's a real stinker. You know what I'm saying? Mm. But like move forward and whatnot. If they decide to like full stop and then flip a bitch and course correct, it'll be a problem.
Flip a bitch and course correct. I hope not. I mean, like I said, let's start off on the right foot. Let's make sure that it's grounded, it's nice, and it does what make us feel like there's a universe out there that the Justice League can live in, and not just this goofy ass Peacemaker world where Batman smells shit or has a foot fetish or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It is what it is. James Gunn still going at it. Somebody else who is still going at it at James Gunn's leg is Zachary Levi, commenting himself at the Canada Festival while he was up there on stage speaking. He did say at the Fan Expo in Canada, and he did wind up saying that he would love to see his Shazam work with Nathan Fillion's Green Lantern.
Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him? Because, oh my God, there's no way.
You think James Gunn is knocking at his door?
No.
You think Zachary Levi is scratching at James Gunn's door?
Probably. He's like, hey, James, I know you have received my 100th message. Get back to me. I can still play Shazam. Don't worry.
Where's the remix of Stan or what's it called? What's that? Yeah, it's Stan, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah,
the Eminem one? Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Damn. Zachary Levi, to me, and like I said, he's still at these expos. He's still talking about things. He's still promoting movies. To me, this is a promotion. This is him saying himself, I want to see my character Shazam go fight with Green Lantern in the future DCU movie that is happening. He's not saying that like that, but he is saying, in a way, in my opinion, I feel like he's promoting a movie. And on top of that, bro, nobody's going to ask you to play Shazam again, bro. That's not going to happen. I don't even care, bro. I don't even care at this point. He, to me, just barking and hoping to become a thing it's honestly ridiculous. I don't know, man. I don't see it happening. Do you see it happening in the slightest? Would you like to see Zachary Levi Shazam with
I don't
Nathan
even want to
Fillion's
see
Green Lantern?
I don't even want to see Nathan Fillion as a Green Lantern. Like, this is like if you were to tell me back in the good days of DC, hey Josh, somewhere down the line, James Gunn, remember, the guy that made the Guardians Galaxy movie? I'd be like, sure. I heard it's good. I don't really like it. What about him? Well, he's going to make 2 more, and then, get this, right? He's going to run DC. I'd be like, there's no fucking way. Did you see BVS? Like, that shit was banging. And then you'd be like, no Henry Cavill, none of your DC. Zach's going to be out, and guess what your Justice League lineup is going to be? I'm going to be like, oh no, this already sounds bad. They're going to be like, Nathan Fillion. I'm going to be like, who? Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern. Guy Gardner, yeah. I'd be like, oh, I know him. He's a Carrot Top. Okay. And then they'd be like, I forget the other ones. Hot Girl.
I don't know their names.
The Clayman. Again, those two. I'd be like, who the fuck? I know Hot Girl. She's from the Justice League show. Metamorpho. I don't know him. Still didn't know him. What do you call it? You remember the first Shazam?
Superman.
Shazam? I'd be like, yeah, the first one was decent. Well, the second one's going to be ass, and the guy's not going to recover at all. He might be part of that shit, too. And I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, this is, like, it sounds bad as it is. I don't want that shit.
Now, was this a nightmare, or...
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, if you were to jump back in time...
if you would have, you would have warned yourself?
And be like...
But you would have told yourself all confused
Prepare for the dark times.
I don't feel like you painted a good picture for your past self. I think your past self was kind of excited for what was happening.
Anytime you meet your past self, it's going to be like, what the fuck?
I don't know, man. I feel like if I jumped back in time, I'd be able to pinpoint everything, and mine would just be like, oh, what are you doing here?
That's pretty cool. What is this? Am I having a stroke?
How many kids are you having?
like I don't know. And I don't want any of these people part of my Justice League, but
why?
Since they're here,
why don't you want them part of your Justice League?
Because I don't.
Indoor voices.
Because I don't. That's the best I can give you with inside voice.
That's it?
Because I don't. I don't want Nathan Fillion as a Green Lantern. That's not who I imagined Guy Gardner would be. Honestly, I hope they give him the bowl cut. That's it. That will fix all my problems.
Oh God, that's gonna look so ugly. I wouldn't even want to see that on screen, man. That's not gonna look good.
I hope they give him the bowl cut.
It's not gonna look good.
What do you call it? Metamorpho. Don't know who that is.
He looks cool though.
I know who Hot Girl is. Shazam. I don't want him playing ball with anyone anymore. The only ones I cared about were the bad guys at that point, and not even the bad guys of the second one. The bad guys of the first one.
All I know is Shazam 2 didn't make the money that he wanted.
Shazam 1 did. My man is just...
Shazam 1, though people liked it, he went on a very nervous breakdown.
Yeah, he's having a midlife crisis.
And something's happening.
And he's not coping well, and now he's just doing this.
Yeah, because I heard him on that one podcast, too. We kind of talked about it on some older podcast episodes. But I heard the whole thing, and my boy just, he broke down him losing out on... Star-Lord, I think. Yeah, Star-Lord. He talked about all that stuff and how Fahey basically was like, oh, you're going to get a bigger part, and they didn't wind up giving him a bigger part. And, I don't know, on the podcast when I was hearing him talk, it just sounded like a sad story. Sadder than that dream that you were telling me about. That shit sounded, really bad.
Yeah. No, he's clearly going through something. But damn. It's time to worry about other things, Zachary Levi. This isn't Shazam might be a closed chapter for you.
I would say a hard closed chapter.
Imagine somewhere down the line the DCU does good or whatever, depending on how you feel, and they're like, oh, we're doing Crisis on Infinite Earths or whatever, a multiverse story. The way people cheered for Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire to come back.
Yeah,
we're watching the movie and stuff, and then Zachary Levi's Shazam comes out, and it's just crickets.
I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Did I don't know. I never looked into it, but did Zack Snyder choose him as Shazam?
No.
Oh,
Shazam came after.
When Walter Hamada had hold, right?
When he took the wheel, basically.
Yeah, but you know how he already had obviously pre-selected who his certain heroes were gonna be. I didn't know if he was
he wasn't part of the roster. No. Shazam was shoehorned in there
because William Dafoe was chosen before, and that's why he went into Aquaman 2 Aquaman or whatever. He didn't make it into the Justice League theatrical cut, but he was.
No, I don't think his Justice League would have had a Shazam, if I'm being for real. Mm-hmm. Like it would have had the core that we know: the Trinity, the Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, the Martian Manhunter, and then the rest would be history. But I don't think Shazam was on his lineup.
because even like James Wan and Zack Snyder were, Tamara Morrison was his thing. I think what's her name, the blonde, was James Wan's pick or whatever, because some stuff was picked up after Zack left, right? But some stuff was already kind of laid out that far. That's why some people are like, well, Aquaman's in like Zack Snyder's vision and blah blah blah, because it kind of loosely was, because they were kind of attached, but around that time it was kind of severing, but not completely disconnected. So it is what it is.
That's why. And like Mara was his choice.
Yeah, Mara was his choice too. So that's why I was just curious whether or not.
I don't think so. He came in when Hamada was on the wheel.
So this was Hamada's doing. Right. I should have known. I should have known.
This has his dirty fingerprints all over that bitch.
Moving on. WL. I don't know why this is making a lot of news too, because to be honest, I don't know. People are just, I thought it was a no-brainer, but there's a rumor going around coming from My Time to Shine Hello, basically saying that writers Jeff Loveness and Michael Waldron are not attached to Avengers Secret Wars nor Avengers Kang Dynasty anymore. Now, we know them as the Rick and Morty writers, but they wound up doing WandaVision, Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was received poorly. Doctor Strange didn't do as well as people were hoping, but came out pretty good regardless. Did a few of the TV shows like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I believe they helped out with which one was that other one that came out? I think they helped with the multiverse thing when it came down to Loki. So yeah, they basically have been weaving their way with the multiverse, because obviously, I don't know, Fahy was like, they did Rick and Morty, they've done the multiverse, let's go ahead and let's scoop them up. So I don't know. Rumor has it that they're not attached. Like I said, we should kind of know that it is a writer's strike. Nobody's attached to anything right now. This is what I mean, where I'm like, well, right now scoopers can make shit up, because to me this is clickbait. Like, this is easy stuff, and people are just commenting on it, LW, whatever, blah blah blah. You know how it's supposed to go through the viral scene. But I don't know, do you think this is an L or a W? And do you think this is because of the strike, or actually because Disney is saying no?
I think it's a W. The way Ant-Man and the Wasp was, I don't want it. I don't want any more of that. I need Kang taken seriously. I can't.
Legal trouble still pending.
Yeah. Damn it. No, but yeah. And then I guess I'm indifferent. Like, I don't care. I don't care if they're attached or not. Preference wise, I'm good that they aren't. And yeah, I would imagine it's because of the strike. No one's attached to anything because of the strike.
There is a strike going on. Rumor has it too that Ryan Coogler might be attached to help write Secret Wars, and that Daniel Cretton will still do Legends of the Ten Rings whenever the writer's strike is over. Like I said, rumors can be made up all the time, especially in this time where nothing can be concrete, and then, easily any of these scoopers can completely just be like, well, plans change during the writer's strike, you know what I mean? Like, they went a different route than what was previously reported and blah, blah, blah. So we'll just keep track of all these rumors, and we'll see which ones wind up panning out. But I think it's a W as well. We've seen the kind of writing that came out of it, or at least the dialogue that came out of it, because I don't believe anybody actually sees the script. And I don't think, and if you notice, like, when people do, like, the readings and I don't know if you've seen like those posts where like they do the script side by side with the actual screenplay that's actually playing the movie. Like, some of the words are like improvised. Like, we heard Jonathan Majors Kang was mostly improvised within Quantumanium. So, and that's why he became kind of like a breakout, because he was like doing his own thing basically. So this might be a W. Hopefully we get some good writers. I wasn't a fan of Black Panther 2, so Ryan Coogler being a part of it sounds cool, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on it either. I'm hoping that it's better than, at least I'm hoping that what happened with Black Panther 2 was obviously a product of what happened with Chadwick Boseman. So I don't know.
Shame on you.
I know. I feel bad because it's a good, for what it was. The certain scenes that paid tribute to it was fine, but the rest of the movie was kind of bunk.
Bunk.
Yeah.
No. I don't believe that. I think Ryan Coogler as a writer could work.
Yeah. I don't know about
that. Let him write Kang. I'm sure he could do a good Kang.
Maybe. Probably.
Well, I mean, if he wrote for Killmonger, then yeah.
Did he? Oh, he probably did, huh?
He was
I think
part
he
of,
had,
he was
I think
part of
he,
that process.
I
for
think
that
he
one,
had
too.
like writing credits too. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see about that one. That one's gonna be interesting. Moving on, Dave Filoni too coming out and putting people's minds at ease. Now we did talk about the first couple Ahsoka episodes, so if you guys haven't seen those or listened to that yet, go check it out. Came out on Saturday. With that, Dave Filoni is putting our minds at ease. Maybe I didn't have a kind of doubt in my mind. Now we know Ahsoka kind of looks a lot better than what Obi-Wan came out to be.
Yeah.
Cinema-wise, right? Cinematography-wise.
Yes.
One thing that they used heavily after the Mandalorian success was the volume. The volume was the sound stage where a bunch of little neon pixels from, I believe it's it's a big ass wall. It's a fucking huge ass sound stage. It covers the whole back wall of them.
What, the volume?
Yeah, the volume. Are you not listening to what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but like you're describing it weird to me, and I'm like, wait, is he talking about the
I'm
volume?
talking about the volume.
Yeah.
How big is it? Do you know the range?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's a big ass sound stage.
I don't work
It
on
covers
that
the whole. Yeah. It covers the whole back and it covers the roof. And they basically did the Batman with that, as well as shot on location with certain scenes. And Dave Filoni is putting everybody's minds at ease because they were like, well, Obi-Wan looked kind of bad and Ahsoka looks kind of good. But then, you have shows like, or certain scenes like in Mando season 3 where it kind of gets a little chalky there too.
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett kind of gets a little dodgy as
Yes.
well. He basically talks to Cinema Blend and says, I'm fortunate to have been on the ground floor of the volume and having experienced it with my team. I know when it works and I know when it doesn't work. There are certain situations where you absolutely want to use it, and there are certain situations where it's better to do it on a regular sound stage with blue screen. There are certain situations where you just want to go outside. You have to just know and trust your team for when it's the right time to use it. I think that's fair. Like I said, Matt Reeves figured it out quickly. I think he did a phenomenal job. I think with some of these shows, they kind of overdid it, and maybe they just didn't have the right, like it was their first time too, so they didn't know what kind of angles, when to use it, what scenes not to use it, because he even said like when to use blue screen all around versus when to use the volume. So, I mean, at least we know that Filoni knows what he's doing.
Of course he does. He's that motherfucking goat. As far as using the volume goes, I mean, that's nice. It's nice technology to have. Not everyone knows how to use it, but it's nice technology to have.
We're in the future, my man.
We are.
Everybody should know how to use it.
Well, yeah, but they don't. And then we got full-on CGI stuff. Ahsoka does look really fucking good, though. Like, that's one of my things. I love the fucking scenery.
Just story-wise, we got to figure that out.
We are 2 episodes in, my guy.
Oh.
Relax.
Hey.
Relax.
Hey.
Relax.
Gave you Andor vibes?
A little bit lower than Andor.
Okay, then I don't want to hear nothing.
Well, we don't even... Oh, whoa. Hey, man, you better slow your roll.
Hey, there's what's it called? What is it called?
What?
I don't
know what it's called. You're not saying anything.
There's a peak now.
Yes.
When it comes to Disney Star Wars television, and that's Andor.
Yes.
If it doesn't beat Andor or come close to it or make you feel that way, because I'll tell you right now, with the first 2 episodes, or they give us the first 3. The first 3 episodes.
What? It's 2 episodes.
They gave us the first 3 of Andor when it dropped. Because they were like, it's a 3
okay.
show, or like 3 episode arc. So they gave us the first 3 just so we don't bitch and moan that, we don't understand it.
Yeah.
People, come on. So we got 3 with them.
Yes.
And that made me fall in love instantaneously. You did too. With that show was great through and through to the very end.
Yeah.
Ahsoka, it's not giving me Obi-Wan vibes, but it ain't giving me, it's probably on par with Mandalorian right now.
Ain't no way.
Yeah.
No. It feels like it's close to Andor. I watch.
What?
Yeah. You're gonna eat your fucking words
by the end
guy.
of the season. We're 2 episodes in though.
You gotta let shit build. Slow burn, not light a bitch
Andor
on fire.
had the best slow burn. Andor had the best.
Hey, shut up.
That's right.
No.
That's all I gotta do to shut it down.
No.
Andor.
No. Ahsoka's gonna be good. You're gonna eat your words. I know it. You're gonna be like, Josh, I was wrong. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, you were.
And then when you're wrong for the upteen time,
hey, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong about anything.
I feel like I'm on the money. I think that Ahsoka is gonna be on par with maybe Mando season 3, not below. Not. Well, it's better than Book of Boba Fett.
Where's your bar? Where is your bar? What are you talking about? Where is your bar? Obviously, season 3 of Mando is better than Book of Boba Fett, but we all can agree that that was the weakest link of the series.
Yeah, but it's better than the Book of Boba Fett.
Where's your bar? Where is your bar?
Andor. Mando.
Yes.
Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan. I don't know where Ahsoka goes there.
Yeah. It's gonna take your first. I know it. It's gonna take your first place. I know.
You think so? I don't know where she would land there, and that's only, like you said, 2 episodes in. But with Andor, I felt like, wow, this is great. When we had 2 episodes of Obi-Wan for its premiere too, I was like, The Bad Batch, I was kind of interested by the second episode because they gave us 2. They usually give us like 2 when they premiere them. So you get a feeling with the episodes that come out, and Ahsoka, it has me intrigued a little bit, but at the same time, there's a lot of backlash. Like I said, we dig deeper into it in Saturday's episode, so go check that out. But I hope I eat my words, and I hope that you're right. Yeah. If that's any consolation, I guess.
When we do the mid-season and the final season review, I want to hear you say it. No, depending if it goes right.
If it's good?
If it's good.
All right. That's fine. I will gladly eat my words. Okay, but then. you, it's like prying a splinter out of you.
Well, yeah, because I don't want to be wrong. No, I've been wrong, and it's humbled my opinions. But holy fuck, never again do I want that feeling.
Never
ever.
Don't forget the bed.
We put the kid on the grill. No.
Moving on though. We're in last week's episode. We kind of talked about, or a couple days ago, a couple episodes ago, I think it was Tuesdays. We talked about kind of how Zack Snyder is kind of like this person that gets painted in a negative light.
Yeah.
How we were kind of happy that he didn't have a full-on Star Wars project because that would have just been completely terrible. We saw what happened with DC. Well, apparently his producers have the same thought. And this is what I mean by they kind of just drag and they twist the words only because they're such a nice team and they're nice people. This is Variety's header, and it says, Rebel Moon team was glad Zack Snyder film got booted from the Star Wars universe. F Star Wars is the quote that they pulled. Now, I read the full quote, and this is coming from his producers of Rebel Moon and his wife, Deborah Snyder, and his longtime producing friend, Eric Newman, basically saying that when Rebel Moon was pitched, it was pitched by like a 7 samurai kind of movie. The way he pitched it to, at one time, Star Wars, according to Deborah Snyder, was, and this is what she says, is, once it was a Star Wars film, I never wanted it to be. I remember I said to Zach, I just feel like your hands are going to be tied so much in that IP, is even though it kind of lived outside of it. So I was kind of happy when that fell apart because I always felt like it was better. We learned so much with all our years working with the superheroes and creating those worlds, and to do something now that's wholly original. We say it's a science fantasy more than science fiction, and to take all those skills that Zach has been honing and to do something in this space just seemed really exciting. Newman also said, I remember Zach calling me at some point, and this has got to be 15 years ago, saying I'm thinking of doing 7 Jedi in the Star Wars universe, and I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. Then a few years later, he calls me and goes, I think it could be a television show. And I'm like, yes, let's do this. Fuck Star Wars. Let's do this as a TV show. And that's how Rebel Moon came to be born. Wound up getting picked up by Netflix. He thought it was going to be a TV show at the time.
Yeah.
And then wound up being a full-on movie. And I'm assuming that had to have happened because of what happened with Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Interesting backstory right there, but fuck Star Wars, really? I got beef with this guy already. I don't even know his name.
Well, if you notice,
everybody doesn't even know about my existence, and I hate him.
Eric Newman?
Yeah.
Why? Fuck Star Wars. Why?
Because you don't say that about...
You don't say that. You don't say that. But at the same time, in the context that he was using it was, they wanted to make something for Star Wars, but they kind of passed on it because it was going to be... what I'm assuming, it was going to be too mature for what Star Wars is looking for, and so they wound up getting their own, and that's fine. Like I said, I wouldn't have wanted him within the IP either. I feel like people would have torn him to shreds, and I don't think he needs that a second time in his lifetime. After we seen, and Deborah even said it herself, after we seen what happened with the DC universe, we don't need that shit again. So I get it. You shouldn't have said that, because I am a Star Wars fan, as you can tell, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm letting it go for the sake of Rebel Moon.
I'm not.
You're not gonna watch Rebel Moon?
Well, I'm gonna obviously watch Rebel Moon.
Nope.
That's the conflict I have though with both of them, because I really love Star Wars and I want to love Rebel Moon, and like everyone is just like, but he can't do Star Wars or whatever, and I'm like, that's not it. That's not the argument you should use. It's not Star Wars, and other people will be like, oh, no, he's gonna do better than Star Wars. I'm gonna be like, that is a bar. There's like I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be better than Star Wars. For all we know, this could end up being ass.
Yeah.
To say you're gonna do better than a franchise that has been around for as long as it has, it spans books, comics, whatever. Like, this was like one of the first things to make those groundbreaking like connections, not just with canon but legends. Like I can imagine Rebel Moon being the phenomenon it is.
Yeah.
But bigger than Star Wars? I don't know. I can't fathom.
Can Rebel Moon be bigger than Star Wars? Maybe. I mean, the fan base is certainly there. Let's just say that right now. There's a fan base for Zack Snyder, and, they love his shit. I'm not saying that it can... I think with it having more an adult tone, it can't be loved as widely as a Star Wars film can, because children and adults can enjoy Star Wars. And yeah, he's gonna have a PG version of this movie, but why do you need to make a PG version and a rated R version? Why do you have to make so many? Because now it's gonna be divided. People are gonna want to see make it kid friendly so you can have it for the children too, but at the same time, you shouldn't have to need to make two different versions. You should be able to just put out one and make it work for everybody, unless that's just like GOAT status and just being like, bro, I can make this movie however you want it. You want it rated R, you want it fucking clean, you just let me know. I got you, bro.
You want it confusing the audiences, you want them to argue about it for a few years and then panic. Great, we got you. Like,
you want it 2 hours, you want it 6 hours, I got content, bro.
Exactly. Netflix is just like, I will do whatever you want, man. But yeah, I don't know. I can't fathom it being better than Star Wars. I'm sure the fan base is there, and I can probably picture it being something great. But 2 movies back to back, a game, and then whatever spins off after the third one or whatever. But bigger than Star Wars is a bold claim for people to be throwing around for a franchise that painted the way for most franchises today.
Yeah. No, Star Wars isn't gonna die. I think that's gonna be a brand that lives on forever. I just think right now it's being hit pretty hard, and we just don't know what the reason is.
Yeah, without a movie right now to really counteract, I can imagine this movie is gonna be what everyone turns to for their sci-fi stuff.
Hopefully, we get that Mando one pretty soon that Filoni was talking about. So
yeah,
it'd be nice.
We need the actor strike to finish up before that.
Yeah,
but.
Speaking of the actor strike, it seems like the Walt Disney Picture VFX workers and CGI workers are now looking to unionize.
Sick. Fucking sick. I was saying this.
Flip the bird to the man.
I was saying this forever ago. I was like, they can unionize. You remember we had this conversation a few pods ago, or forever ago now. I was like, they should unionize. And I was like, you think they will? And you were like, nah, bro, I don't think so. But now would be the time. I'd be like, word, I wonder what's going on with that. And now, here it is. They are unionizing. Mm-hmm. Good for them. Get your money, VFX workers.
They should, especially with the way that Marvel be pushing them, the Disney be pushing them. I think that they should be doing that. And at the time, I didn't think, but hey, you got to shoot your shot whenever you can. And if this is the time, might as well.
Exactly. With their backs against the wall, writers on your back, actors on your back, you can do this shit. You can get your bag. You can get your fair pay. You can quite literally stop the whole company.
Well, they're filing, so if they... It depends on what they do. If they wind up holding that up, then we're going to be having a hold up on animation. We're going to have a hold up on movies in general, movies that are in post-production that we are looking to still finish up by the end of the year or by the beginning of next year. Those are going to be put on hold. That'd be an even bigger stop to production for all the companies.
Yep. Oh man.
Now would be the time.
Can't wait.
Now would be the time.
Because while I understand the dry spell, it's necessary.
Okay. So you're okay with lack of movies as long as it happens?
It's all about the people behind the scenes. They deserve to get paid fairly and whatnot.
They do deserve that. Sucks. Damn.
And like I'm not indifferent. The only animation movie I can tell you I'm really looking forward to is Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
And that's the only one. I haven't had a good animation movie in a minute. All the good ones I do like are still around. So
bro, the Super Mario movie just came out. Oh,
I do not care about that movie, man.
Stop.
Like it was good, but I don't think it's this phenomenon everyone thinks it is.
Oh, peaches, bro.
Yeah, no, it's a good song, but no. And you should know I like Tenacious D.
Yeah, well, not enough, I guess. But peaches, bro, peaches. That's all I gotta say. That should have way to ruin the good news, man.
Well, I mean, what you want me to do? It's true.
VFX workers worked for that movie.
Yeah. Thank you, VFX workers, for putting out something good. I appreciate it. Now go get your bag.
It's good news. At least something else is happening and coming out of this writer strike, at least, because it seems like we're not making any leeway with the writers at all.
Nope.
Neither with the actors.
Yeah,
and the AMPTP, which is the studios, are refusing to negotiate still. So, I don't know. Bob Iger's still shaking his fist at the window like, damn these strikers, and that's basically all he's doing. He's not even trying to like figure out how to find a resolution. Mm-hmm. We did speak about it a couple episodes ago. Go check it out if you guys haven't, but they're literally asking for less than 1%.
Yeah,
literally
less than 1%.
Moving on though, going to our final topic, David Fincher's newest film, The Killer. If you guys don't know who David Fincher is, he directed Fight Club, Seven, Gone Girl, Zodiac, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Social Network, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, so on and so forth. He's made so many good movies. Netflix picked him up. I don't know what's Netflix's deal, but they picked up so many good directors over the past year. Zack Snyder, David Fincher, Martin Scorsese,
and all these cooking people.
Like Christopher Nolan. I'm just waiting for Christopher Nolan to get a film over here. There's so many good films that these directors are just giving straight to Netflix, which is insane to me. This one looks good. It has Michael Fassbender in it. I don't know if you've seen the trailer floating around. No? Let's just get started then.
Yes.
Wait, do you know the rest of his filmography, right? You've seen the rest of those movies I named off?
Yes.
Social Network, all them? You appreciate his movies?
Yes.
You down with his movies?
I am.
Any issues with any of his movies?
No.
Okay. You seen Fight Club?
I have.
Seven?
Yeah.
What's in the box?
Yeah.
You seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just making sure. I gotta double check. Those seem a little bit before your time, so I'm just double checking.
Oh, yeah, no, but I've seen them.
All right. Very good. Love Brad Pitt. Wait, what's going on? Oh,
damn, way to blue ball the audience.
My guy's mute. All right, let me restart it again. One more time.
Anticipate, don't improvise. Stick to your plan. Never yield an advantage. Stick to the plan. Fight only the battle you're paid to fight. Ask yourself, what's in it for me? Stick to the plan. Empathy, weakness, vulnerability. This is what it takes if you want to succeed. Simple.
Oh, select theaters October 10th and on Netflix in November.
Netflix is dipping their toe into the movie theater scene? I thought they said they weren't doing that.
Yeah, I told you they've been.
Because sworn that they said something about not prioritizing it.
They didn't do it with Glass Onion. I think that was who's that? That was MGM. They're not prioritizing it. That's with Amazon.
Okay.
They're still putting out movies. They're still rolling the dice. Netflix, they're doing this, trying it out for 2 weeks. And the only reason why they're still doing it is because they actually made money with Glass Onion and those films.
Such a beautiful movie.
Yeah, so they wound up actually doing pretty good. So they're wanting to put it out there, which maybe that's what's drawing these big time names now to come over to Netflix. That they're like, well, you'll have a theatrical run for a little bit. I mean, in October, if it starts in October till November 10th, that's a whole month. You know, if somebody's gonna watch it, they're gonna watch it. If they're gonna wait for streaming, they'll wait for streaming. But I mean, that's good. It's good for Netflix.
Yeah, good. The trailer looks trippy though.
Yeah, I didn't.
It gives me Nightcrawler vibes.
Yeah. It's supposed to be about an assassin battles his employers and himself on an international manhunt. He insists isn't personal. So maybe like somebody's trying to take him out and he can't trust nobody. So he's just trying to get a mission done, but he can't figure out whether to trust his team, trust himself, trust people, whatever. Stick to the plan. I don't know. Trailer did look kind of trippy.
Looks cool.
It kind of hits you kind of like a Fight Club in a way, because that one was kind of like one of his trippier movies too. All of his movies are kind of twisty. I'd say a little bit harder twist than M. Night Shyamalan's. M. Night Shyamalan be getting us with some good ones, but David Fincher, his are like more subtle and they play with your head a little bit.
Yeah, but M. Night Shyamalan is the GOAT.
Yeah. But he didn't give us a twist at Knock at the Cabin. That's right.
Let it go.
I bring it back. I bring it back. Get off me.
Let it go.
No.
Okay.
I'm holding
the movie is still good without a twist.
What a tweet.
But movie looks good. Excited. Haven't seen Michael Fassbender or anything in a minute, actually.
Yeah.
He's been on a weird hiatus.
Hey, it's good. It's good for them to unwind every once in a while.
Remember when Liam Neeson took a hiatus and then he was just in everything?
Yeah.
He was in that plane one and then he did 2 more Takens and then he did a few more. Like it's weird that actors do that. It's crazy.
Yeah, because they know their power, man. If people are calling them, they're like, well, we're going to take a break. Kind of like what Tom Holland said he was going to do, but then he wound up getting railed on screen. So I don't know.
He did it. He went to Netflix, did the one with Robert Pattinson. Haven't seen it. Heard it was good. And then, he got railed on Apple TV.
Very nasty.
Right, yeah.
But
disturbing, really.
Yeah. But catch the trailer. It's on YouTube. It's called The Killer. With Michael Fassbender, and let us know your guys' thoughts. David Fincher is traveling to Netflix now, and it's a weird time. It's a weird time for cinema. It's a crazy time. We would have never seen names like this hitting streaming at all.
That's true. I remember before it was all just like comedians.
Yeah, comedians, mostly comedians, and then maybe who was the first director who made the jump? Was it Scorsese?
In recent memory, I would say so.
With that Robert De Niro one, The Irishman.
Such a
and
good
he
movie.
wound up making like Academy Awards or something like that. So
that movie did really good. It won a lot of stuff. And
so maybe that was the movie.
I think that one won Sundance Festival. And then and then he has the Killers of the Moon or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that one's coming out pretty soon.
That for Apple TV.
Did you see that they're making another movie together? Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio.
He is just cooking. He is cooking.
DiCaprio, he does good role. I can't wait for that Killers of the Flower Moon. We gotta watch that one in theaters. That one's gonna go in theaters.
It's gonna be good.
But let us know your thoughts on the Killer trailer. Let us know your thoughts on all these topics. What you guys think? Are you guys excited for James Gunn's new DCU with the comments that he made as well? If there's any topics that you guys want us to talk about, any movies that you guys want us to review, you guys want us to support us in a big way, you guys want to listen to older episodes right now, Josh, let them know where they can do all that.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. We post when new episodes are up. You can hit us up there for any news or movies you want us to cover. Listen to us anywhere you get your podcast. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, things of that nature. We're on a bunch of sites. Go check us out anywhere you get your podcast. Subscribe to our Buzzsprout. That's kind of like a Patreon page, if you will. Subscribers get special perks, things like that. Shout outs on episodes, so we recognize you for helping us out. And when it's all said and done, subscribe to our YouTube at FilmBros Podcast.
Yes. And as always, old, new episodes. Old to us, new to you, because you're listening to them.
Yes.
New, freshly. And we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.